Welcome back to Meet the Coach. Today we've got Coach Juwan Lewis. He is the running backs coach and recruiting coordinator at Alabama State. Coach, I appreciate you jumping on with me.
Thank you, man. We've been going 3 years strong between
right. Yeah. Well, talk to us. Yeah, talk to us about that. Where you got, or where you came from, where you are now, and how you got here. As we were talking right before we hit record, this is the third place in 3 years as we've been now working through our coaching network and having you on. So it's been great to see your growth as a coach. But now talk to us about that specific journey, if you would.
Yeah, man. So my first year coaching was in 2018 at the University of Mount Union. I was an assistant running back coach there, made the jump or moved on to a lateral move to Hiram College, where I was a run game coordinator, running back coach, H-back coach, and tight ends coach. Took that leap of faith, believed in myself, and made the jump up and got the opportunity to move on to Division II, where you and I met shortly after during the COVID year, where I was at the University of Findlay as a running back coach. And then shortly after moved on to a powerhouse at that in the GLIAC, i.e. being Davenport University, where I was there for 2 years as a running back coach and the high school recruiting coordinator. And just through, the multiple clinics at the FCA, being on here multiple times, different private clinics and camps, and just meeting people, eyes were on me where I didn't know, and opportunity came about at my first Division I FCS job, being at Alabama State University, where again I am the running back coach and the recruiting coordinator.
Yes, sir. And it's crazy how these things happen. Like we were talking again before we hit record, this is the relationship business. And people saw something, or you met somebody somewhere that was like, I like this guy. If something opens, like, here's a guy I need to have a convo with. Like that's how this profession is, What do you think as you've evolved? So you've been a coach now, this will be your 6th season. Is that correct?
Yep, 6th season.
We do the math there. Now, as you've evolved as a coach, how do you think your coaching philosophy has evolved?
It's evolved tremendously to a point where I've really structuredized my coach philosophy, which is relatability plus confidence equals trust. The root of that relatability is relationship. I, as a position coach or coordinator, whatever the case may be, have to get to know you as a person just as much as a player. Okay. With us building that relatability or that relationship, I'm able to know what makes you tick, your learning style, what's the best way to attack installs, how can I develop you as a player physically, when I know something is wrong with you mentally. It's just overall and connection-based type of business that we're in, and that also trickles down to your players. Moving on from the relatability, after we build that confidence, or when we're building that confidence, this is the how and the why. How am I going to teach you this? Is it through film? Is it on the grease board? Is it through walkthrough? How am I going to structure to make you better and to understand this offense? And that is through building that confidence and learning that teaching style. All right. Some guys can read a manual like no other. All right. Some guys love lecture on the grease board to see that visual, or some guys have to actually do it for it to stick. So we are teachers, just as, coaching equals teaching. Okay. So as we're building that confidence, I sprinkle in the development piece, which is mastering movements. All right. Developing agility, developing your eyes from an RB's perspective. Okay. Working on your blocking, working on your finish. Okay. Working on your catching. All these things need to be developed before you get to the next level. And I do drills that are used at the next level. So that way, before you get to the next level, you stay at the next level when you get that opportunity. All right. We're not going to wait for you to get that opportunity. You stay ready so you don't have to get ready. All right. And when these guys see everything come all together tenfold, when they translate practice to game days, drills to game days, and they see it visually when we're correcting it, because I'm going to coach you up. All right, that Tuesday, really that Monday, Monday's usually off for us for the meat potatoes day between Sunday and Monday. That Tuesday through Thursday, I'm going to coach you up hard. That Friday, I'm going to be like, man, hey, it's all the hay's in the barn, okay? That Saturday, I'm going to tell you what I see, but I'm going to trust what you do, okay? And that Sunday, I correct it, i.e. we get eyes on it and see how you translate everything from practice to game day, whether it be a kudos to you, a little constructive criticism, it builds the trust. They trust that I'm going to put them in the most successful situation possible. And it even goes hand in hand with me being the recruiting coordinator. My recruiting coordinator philosophy is transparency will last a lifetime. If I'm fully transparent on myself as a coach, that relationship is going to last a lifetime, not only with that player, but also that parent, but also that high school coach, but also that administration. See, it's a bigger picture than what we think. So that full transparency will last a lifetime. You got to be yourself no matter what. Either somebody's going to like you, whether or not. It is what it is. You know, you're not going to sleep on that. And same thing with the draft. You know, one team might like you. The NFL may love you one day and then hate you the next day. It is what it is. But somebody, there's always somebody for something or someone in this world. So
Sure.
they're going to like me no matter what. They're going to, and my backup is having a great head coach, i.e. being Eddie Robinson Jr., a great offensive staff with a great OC, great quarterbacks coach, great O-line coach, and great wide receiver coach to continue to complement the culture that I've brought into this room. It's a running back coach, and my room is phenomenal. My room is phenomenal. I got a bunch of brainiacs in this room. I got a lot of selfless men, a lot of self-motivated and self-led men. So it makes things all the greater. And they've loved every bit of things that I've brought to the table. So long-winded answer, but hey, when you're passionate about something, man, you just can't help it.
I like long-winded answers. That usually means detailed and good too.
Oh,
What what do you think separates you from a running back coach perspective versus other running back coaches?
Well, one thing for sure is I actually played the position. Played the position collegiately. I've actually played the position professionally. And again, I'm, you know, you're a guy, it hits home more when you're a guy who's actually been there, done that. You start to see a lot of more stats being developed with guys who've actually played the position, you know, and that's no knock to a guy getting in a profession or, you knowing somebody and saying, hey, like I'm going to be honest, the biggest nitpick to me is when you have someone who's played wide receiver all their life, coaching running backs, the easiest position. No position is the easiest position. There are different things that you have to be able to develop and influence within your room. Okay. I'm not gonna, and yes, I'm a guy who likes to teach everything. I do have an aspiration to be a offensive coordinator in the immediate future. So yes, I will start with the O-line up front so you know what's going on there, which is why this hole is going to appear here, my bang, or why this second opportunity or whole run lane may appear. The bend, then you have a bounce where if O lines or a D line is pinching in or crossing face heavy, I got a bounce where I can get vertical. And if the defensive coordinator is a guy who sends bombs over Baghdad, that I just buried and look to play another down. You understand the terminology, the why, and yeah, if I'm talking inside zone, I'm going to start from that backside tackle, sifting to get to that backside backer, the backside guard and center working a scoop block or a combo block to double team from that one technique all the way to that front side backer, i.e. being the mic. All right. And then I'm kicking out both from the play side, guard and tackle. Yeah, I want you to understand. I want you to understand that fullback is coming cross action to kick out that backside in. Yeah, I'm going to explain all that so you understand where this is going to be an A to A gap play, where it may bounce tight off the tackle, or it may bang just because the defense just got us that play. It is what it is. They watch film too. That's the thing that separates me. I'm going to tell you everything that's going on to make you successful within that play, why this drill is going to help you within that play. That's what separates me. Sure. I'm looking at it with you.
You go. Yeah. Why do you think you're a better coach now than you were 6 years ago? Like, what are these? Is this how 6 years ago you start? Like, you know, every young coach is like fast, hard, loud is usually the vibe versus like more thoughtful. Here's key teaching points and understanding that the guys might not be as good as you were or may not see it the way you were as a running back. Mm-hmm. So how have you evolved over the last 6 years to become a better coach in these kind of things specifically?
Well, the biggest thing is I learned from that rah, 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 you know, some of that, it starts to become noise and unretainable. So you got to start speaking the language, that relatability.
Yeah.
This is the way I learn it. So you should be able to learn it just like this too. Maybe he doesn't learn that way. Maybe I need to take a greaseboard approach, or hey man, let's do a walkthrough. Or, hey man, you see this on this film? You see where I'm seeing this? Building that confidence.
Mm.
And just overall speaking the same language where my guys are, I've been here since mid-February, and by the end of spring, everyone started really midway through spring, the room started using the terminology I use. I tried to get skinny, coach. Hot feet didn't keep my feet hot, my knees driving, coach. Built that confidence because they seen it through the film and seen that it works. And when I do my drill tapes, as you know, because we have history together, I always show how that drill is being used at the next level with Marshawn Lynch's and Dalvin Cook's and Adrian Peterson's and Bo Jackson's. The list goes on. That trust.
Yeah.
I learned how to really mold my coach philosophy with how I coach. And when you're first in the profession, you're like that kid that's just trying to learn how to swim. So you're sticking your foot in and you put up that facade a little bit. Yeah, I'm gonna be. Doesn't take all that. All it takes is a little bit of TLC, a little bit of love, tough love sometimes, to mold that guy for life.
Sure. And you're 30-ish. How old are you?
29.
29. Okay. So the guys that coached you,
Mhm.
probably were definitely more rah-rah. The guys that coached me were definitely more rah. We're the
Mhm.
next ages of generation. So like
Mhm.
we were kind of used to that too. So that's what we know. Whereas we maybe didn't understand as much that this is a different generation, these young bucks. They learn less that way than we did, whereas and our parents, you could teach them a different way as well. So you've got to adjust, like you said, and relatability. There are so many like the kids are so much smarter than we were when it comes to just like understanding authenticity and being real, right? If you're faking the funk and you're bullshitting us, we know it as a 20-year-old now. Like not I, but like they did, and they're so much smarter than we were, even at our ages. What is there anything specifically outside of learning your offense and outside of your room and teaching your guys, but anything specifically you're working on this off season?
Yeah, the biggest thing that I'm working on this off season is just continuing to learn the culture that is here, because this is a different experience than any other experience, a great experience. Just
Yeah.
continue to learn the culture, learn the coaches, so we can always remain on the same page, which we do, because we have a phenomenal offensive and defensive staff, and it's all of the compliment to our head coach and our director of football operations. Um, just continuing to learn and really build off the field really help to keep that morale and trickle effect down to the players. And it's been a tremendous effect. It's been a really tremendous effect. And just continuing really to have those guys around my family, so they can always have a reliable idol to really pinpoint back in their mind outside the sport. Because you're gonna be the football guy for so long. What are you outside of that? Are you going to be a great dad? Are you going to be a great sibling? You're going to be, are you going to be a great coach? So me learning everyone else and everyone else learning me is the biggest.
Sure. From I guess taking it from there to like looking at you as a coach, how do you evaluate yourself? How that, hey, I'm improving this or that. Like what do you do for self-evaluation coach wise?
I do a lot of self scout. Like if I'm looking to my left right now, I got about three practices left into spring, and I self evaluated looking back at my film to see, all right, on my drill list or drill roster of 35 total drills right now, I always try to add 3 additional drills, which I did. I ended up doing that and seeing what needs to be retaped, redone, re-emphasized. So I do a lot of self scout. It starts with drills. Do self scout to see how it transitioned, if it really transitioned to that team period, and then it evolves and going to fall camp and emphasizing my coach's manual for the room and the drills and the why and the showing it, and it'll be full circle back on to game day once we hit the fall. So a lot of self scout and continuing to grasp the playbook. Um, that's the biggest thing, and I feel like I've done that tremendously. I learned a lot of stuff really fast. Um, this room was welcome me in with open arms really fast, and that's something where I want to continue to stride in the right direction. And um, everybody, um, every player deserves a different type of patience. You know, I can't talk if that makes sense. I can't
Yeah,
have this type of patience with this kid and expect that same type of patience morale with the next kid. That's
yeah,
not how it works. So
sure.
I've done that tremendously, and it gets to a point, man. Sometimes, man, when you have such a self-led room, you're able to take the clicker and just be like, all right, run it. I'll interject if I need to. And these guys are starting to correct themselves and understand and using the terminology and being able to get on the board. It brings tears to your eyes.
Sure.
That's the win.
We talked about this last week with Nigel Madison and culture, and like I think that's what is culture, right? It's not you saying these things, but it's your guys now saying the things and the leaders in the room implementing the culture. Like you can say all you want to say as a coach, but until those guys believe in it and the guys are doing it, and then they're the ones actually implementing it to the young bucks, that's when you really build a culture, right?
No doubt, no doubt. It's you emphasize that relationship early, and you are fully transparent early, even through the recruiting process. And even when you first get there, the biggest thing you need to do is like, I got to get my room's trust, and I got to know. So you show things that have helped along the way to develop a room. But at the same time, with that being said, you just have to be willing to listen. You definitely got to be willing to listen and understand the room first and what they've gone through and why you're taking over that room. All right. You got to understand what they've gone through before they even got to this room. Okay. Sure. That's the biggest thing that'll definitely help build the culture. And within that, you explain to them what you went through. You explain to them me being a what do you need from me guy instead of a why me guy is what got me to be able to coach you guys. Okay. Me being a grinder and guys seeing me on different clinics and me learning and teaching to different people, even at a young age in the profession, is what allowed me the opportunity to be able to do the same for you guys.
Sure.
That's where that.
Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry. You go.
That's where that selflessness comes, and that confidence in being able to believe in you no matter what is what builds the culture.
No doubt. So recruiting wise, and I don't know if you recruited any guys there since you came mid-February, past signing day, and then I don't know if you guys are portaling it. We don't need to get into that convo or whatever. But when you're looking for guys for your room, what are the things you're looking for from a running back perspective?
Yeah, I mean, the biggest thing I'm going to look for, first of all, is your intellect. I'm going to look at your transcript, because if I can't trust you to get it done in the classroom, how do you think I'm going to be able to trust you to develop and get things done on the field? So I gotta know your intellect. All right, I gotta know your size. How well do you fluctuate? How does your body fluctuate throughout a season, from off season to in season? Okay, I want to get you on the board. Tell me what you like. Tell me what you've been used to running. All right, I want to see what your IQ is, or where it's at, and how I can continue to develop it tenfold. And then we get obviously to the film. All right, get to the film. What drills on my tape or on my roster can I do to help build this guy from the ground up? Okay. And a lot of the things sometimes, when these guys are so talented, it's more so just fine tuning. You have guys where you're just going to fine tune them, and that's okay. You're going to fine tune them from here rather than here. Okay. And, you figure those things out, you check your boxes, you got a great guy. I'm not into is he coming from a two-parent or one that I don't care about that. I don't care about that. And that's no knock to anybody else. You have an opportunity to really mold and build a young man and teach life of the game we love. That's all I care about. That guy has the will and the want. That's what I care about. All the other stuff, we'll cross the bridge when we get there. It's my job to mold this guy. It's my job to make him to the running back, and be in that most successful situation possible. That's our job. So,
Right. And I'll leave on this. What's the best coaching advice you've gotten?
sponge it.
Sponge it.
Sponge it. Be a sponge, no matter what. You will not be successful in this profession if you're a guy that thinks he knows it all. You're not gonna last long.
Yeah.
Sponge it. Be a sponge. Share what you know. Be willing to mold what you already know. Don't be the smart. You do not have to have all the answers. Don't be defensive. Just don't be that guy. Sponge it.
I think that's a good advice for life in general.
Deal life in general, man.
That's the coaching profession.
That's it, man. Be willing to create and build those relationships. Be willing to learn others. Be willing to share your experiences, and everybody will understand your chip on your shoulder. But don't be that guy. Don't be that know-it-all guy, because you will not. It won't last long, man. It really won't last long. So,
Well, I appreciate it. This has been great. Thanks, Coach.
thank you.